A new think tank report provided first to NBC News concludes that the ballistic missile launched by the regime on July 12th was likely the product of technical cooperation with Russia. The new missile is a significant advancement for North Korea and significant escalation in the country's threat capability. NBC News chief foreign affairs correspondent Andrea Mitchell joins us now. Andrea, what do we know about the capabilities of these missiles?
Well, it's a very alarming report, and this is from a new study from Beyond Parallel at CSIS, a think tank here, and Victor Cha, who is a contributor to NBC. And it was first reported by us that this new North Korean missile, tested in July 12th, is nearly identical, Ellison, in appearance and in trajectory data to a Russian missile that can penetrate U.S. missile defenses and carry multiple warheads across the Pacific and to the continental United States, in fact, as far as right here in Washington, D.C., the nation's capital. So it is a significant advance. It's also being reported as a real trouble spot by South Korean intelligence tonight and confirmed by U.S. officials.
Yeah, I mean, assuming this was, in fact, the product of Russian cooperation, which the evidence you just laid out there is incredibly notable, what would that suggest about the relationship between North Korea and Russia right now?
Well, it's been close for quite a while, but this test shows a lot of new evidence. First of all, Russia's defense minister, Sergei Shoigu, met in Pyongyang with Kim Jong-un just 2 weeks later after the test on July 25th. And this was to further cement their ties, and notably he came on the 70th anniversary of the armistice, so that's the founding of their nation. Then Russia was already helping North Korea with energy and food, which they need desperately. North Korea has been providing Russia with weapons to rearm it for Ukraine. So all of this is troubling. After that, Kim Jong-un came out with a statement of partnership with Vladimir Putin. So it is a much closer connection. And all of this in violation of UN sanctions. And this will all be part of tomorrow's big Camp David summit, the first of its kind, when President Biden is for the first time hosting the leaders of South Korea and Japan to discuss the growing threats in the region, which certainly include North Korea, but of course also what to do about China. So a lot of issues on the table tomorrow in Camp David.
In the skies near Japan, F-15s on the hunt for a suspected North Korean intercontinental ballistic missile, capturing what could be its last seconds in flight. This rare video, released by Japan's military, experts say the burning object resembles a ballistic missile boost rocket re-entering the atmosphere, flying for about an hour at hypersonic speeds.
If there's no interception or the interception fails, an ICBM launch from North Korea would take a little bit more than 30 minutes to reach the homeland U.S. and also depending on if it's the West Coast or the East Coast will take slightly more time.
Chinese scientists simulated a North Korean nuclear attack. According to the South China Morning Post, the simulation shows 33 minutes from the time of launch to the time of impact if U.S. missile defenses fail to shoot down the ICBM.
Missile defense begins here.
For years, U.S. leaders have reassured the public.
The nation should be very confident.
And America's allies.
Easily shoot them out of the sky.
Missile defense systems can keep them safe. But virtually all ballistic missiles travel at more than 5 times the speed of sound, sometimes faster.
It's been described as hitting a bullet with a bullet, trying to hit a warhead.
3, 2, 1, ignition.
A report last year finding America's missile defense system, the nation's best, perhaps only line of defense, only succeeds about half the time.
If North Korea were to fire nuclear-armed ICBMs at the United States, we cannot be assured that our missile defense system would prevent the deaths of millions.
A U.S. Missile Defense Agency report last year said the missile defense system has demonstrated a measured capability to defend the United States, deployed forces, and allies from a rogue nation's missile attack. But that rogue nation has a fast-growing arsenal. Kim Jong-un's military is mass-producing ICBMs. He knows a barrage of ballistic missiles could be too much for the U.S. to shoot down.
Well, I mean, it's pretty sobering reporting, especially considering so many of these missile defense tests, the missile defense shield tests, have not gone well for the United States. And you're talking about North Korea specifically with these missiles. What about missiles that would start from China or Russia?
Well, this is the scary thing that a lot of people probably don't know. Yes, the U.S. missile defense system might be able to defend against an attack from a rogue state like North Korea, as long as their program doesn't get too big, or maybe Iran. But China, Russia, the size of their arsenals, if they launched nuclear missiles at the U.S., just like if the U.S. launched nuclear missiles at them, there'd be no way to shoot even close to all of them down. It would be essentially, this is the definition of mutually assured destruction. North Korea is trying to get there too. They're trying to get to the point that the U.S. wouldn't be able to shoot their missiles down, because then they become a nuclear power, which is what Kim Jong-un has always wanted.